Is the life you're living worth the cost you're paying to live it? Hi there, I'm Dr. DeYonne Parker, the Courage Catalyst, and I empower ladies, leaders, and little girls to courageously shine in their brilliant zone. You can check me out at www.DeYonneParker.com. I'd love to chat with you. Well, you know that saying, the graveyard is one of the richest places on earth? Why is that? Because it's filled with people who died with unrealized dreams, unlaunched businesses, and unheard of inventions. I know some of you struggle with being bound by that dirty little F word, fear. What has fear cost you? I want you to think about that for a minute and let that sink in. Has fear cost you a dream, an idea, or maybe a relationship? What did you abandon or not give yourself permission to explore because of fear? I know what it feels like to be incarcerated by fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of not being good enough. It's heavy. At the age of 18 years old, I was stabbed with a 6-inch butcher knife by my sister's abuser. I was held captive for hours and forced to watch while he brutally beat her. As a result of that trauma, I lived in fear for many years. I lost my courage, and most importantly, I lost my swag. Yep, my swag, my self-confidence, my walk with God, my attitude of gratitude, and my God-given gifts and talents. So over the past 20 years, I've had the opportunity to empower ladies, leaders, and little girls to move from comfort to courage. I'm sitting here today because I knew I was destined for more. I realized that my pain was not a punishment, but actually an opportunity for me to help you face your fears and find your freedom. Perhaps your story isn't, as traumatic or life-altering as mine, but the result is still the same. Aren't you tired of fear ruling your life and keeping you bound to your comfort zone? Well, I know I was. So I decided to step into my courage zone, trade my fear for freedom, and get my swag back. So I wrote a book about it. Yep. Girl, Get Your Swag Back is the name of it. And now I want to help you. I want to help you regain your self-confidence. I want to help you restore your walk with God. I want to help you renew your attitude of gratitude, reclaim your God-given gifts and talents. I want to help you get your swag back. So let's get started on this journey, shall we? Our first stop on this journey is regaining your self-confidence. What does self-confidence look like? I mean, when you really have it. You know what I mean. You can tell the moment a confident person walks in the room, just something about the way that they walk, the way they talk, the way they carry themselves. You know what I mean. But what about when someone is lacking self-confidence? What does that look like? Sometimes it might be completely obvious by outward appearances, but other times you may not even see it. It may not be apparent to the naked eye. When we're deficient in the areas of confidence, something else shows up and takes its place: self-doubt. And doubt brings with it all of its family members. I mean, negative thoughts, fear, and self-sabotage, all those family members. When you sit in this space for too long, you become totally paralyzed by it. And it begins to seep into various areas of your life, your relationships, your career, your vision, your purpose. And before you know it, you've given self-doubt permission to reign over your life. Do you all remember, this feeling like when you show up with confidence and you know exactly how you feel, you know that feeling that you get, it's like no other. So I want you to think about that. And in order to regain your self-confidence or to maintain it, we have to be willing to shed those negative thoughts and words that we've placed on ourselves and allowed others to place on us. And in order to do that, we've got to challenge our own self-assumptions, our own assumptions, and that dirty talk in your head. We have to make daily deposits in our confidence account. That means, literally affirming yourself and saying, girl, you can do this. Yes. You've got to focus on what you can control, not looking around to the left and to the right of you and looking at who's doing what you can control. You got to practice purposeful presence. Changing your thoughts can alter your sheer presence. That's how you regain your self-confidence. So next up on this swag journey is restoring our walk with God. Now, you cannot have swag without God in it. I just want you to just try to spell it. Without the walk with God, without the W, you just simply have sag. And that is not cute. I'm sure you've heard people say, walk with a purpose. Our walk with God is personal and purposeful. It doesn't look like anybody else's. When we walk with God, our stance changes. We look different. We stand upright when we walk with God. Our walk with God should be purposeful. I have two amazing sons, William and Malcolm. My youngest, Malcolm, was about 4 years old, and I would tuck him in at night. We'd tell these wonderful stories. I'd pray over him, and we just exchange conversation. We just chat. On one particular evening during our nightly routine of chatting, I noticed a puzzling look on his face, and I was looking at him, and he's looking at me, and I knew there was a question coming. I asked him what he was thinking about. And with this puzzled look on his face, he said, Mommy, what size shoe does God wear? I paused for a moment and said, well, that's a good question. He probably has to have some pretty big shoes to keep up with all of his kids, with all of us. And he seemed to be satisfied with that answer. But I had to think about that for just a minute. How many times have we tried to fill God's big shoes with things that just don't fit? I'm just saying, just think about that. I call those things artificial fillers because they aren't real. They aren't the real thing, and I've done it a time or two. They don't last long. They have no staying power. Could it be time for you to examine the artificial fillers in your life? Could it be time? Who are you walking with in this season? Could it be time for you to take a look at your walking partners? And are they helping you strengthen your walk? When you look to the left and to the right of you, are those people walking with you and to help you walk with God and stay in his presence? The walk with God is so important to getting your swag back because it's with him that we discover all the other areas of swag. So I challenge you to restore your walk with God and see how you are staying in his presence on a daily basis. So on this third stop, we're going to renew our attitude of gratitude. Can we have a truth moment here? I just want you to just ask yourself this question. How do you show up when you are not at your best? For real, when you're not at your best. When we are depleted mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, we are not the most pleasant people to be around. I'm just saying, I'm raising my hand. I know that about myself. I show up as the Tasmanian devil. You know that little devil, if you're old enough to remember, that little Tasmanian devil cartoon that would just spin off, wrecking whatever was in its sight. That was me when I'm depleted in those areas, and I have to get that part of me checked when I know that. So when we think about our attitude and our attitude of gratitude, we have to make a different choice and recognize how we feel before we get to the danger zone. So there are ways for us to renew our attitude of gratitude. And the first one is to breathe. This year has been tough on all of us. I know I feel it too. It has been tough. But breathe, literally take a deep breath so that you can power through. Be aware of your triggers and speak your truth out loud. Give voice to how you're feeling. Don't keep it all bottled up inside. Give voice to it. Be grateful. I dare you to find 3 people in your phone right now. Pull it up. I dare you to text 3 people right now and just tell them how grateful you are for them. Send them a sincere note. Being grateful really changes our attitude. And being a blessing. It's so hard to focus on yourself and your trials when you're being a blessing to someone else. Be a blessing to someone today. So let's go to this last stop on our swag journey today. Reclaiming your God-given gifts and talents. Ooh, I love superhero movies. And I learned a lesson from Carol Danvers. Yes, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. She made this powerful statement in her movie that said, I've been fighting with one arm tied behind my back. But what happens when I'm finally set free? Oh, that's so powerful. She made this quote when she finally was taking full control of her power as Captain Marvel. She'd been held back by all of her circumstances and everybody around her. But when she shed all of that, she was able to achieve her full, amazing potential. There is no end to what you can accomplish when you realize that so much of you has been held back by what's just simply in your head and what we've allowed other people to speak into us. So what's your superpower? What are those things that you're doing that are amazing? What is your superpower? And more importantly, what are you doing with it? Remind yourself of past accomplishments to help you reignite your passion. Start with just one thing and then go from there. You can do this. We were all created with these amazing gifts. It's time to get them off the shelf, dust them, and use them to change the world. So, this is the end of our swag journey and my time with you. Again, my name is Dr. DeYonne Parker, the Courage Catalyst, and you've just been pushed out of your comfort zone into your courage zone. What are you going to do in it? Make it count. I'd love for you to connect with me. Go grab the book, Girl, Get Your Swag Back. You can get it off of Amazon or on my website. Have an incredible day. Thank you.